Welcome to the Essential Wrestling Podcast. Fellow podcaster, fellow, I guess, wrestling fan, if you guys want to call him that, Jim Cornette. Not sure if you've ever heard of him or not. He used to be on TV every once in a while. Still, he's just a fan, just like me and everybody else that has a podcast. Has his opinion. One of his opinions actually is the same shared by us. AEW pay-per-views are too long. I do believe All Out went about 4 hours, not counting 0 hour, I guess, the kickoff, the buy-in, whatever you want to call it now. Went about 4 hours. He did a 5.5 hour show complaining about a 4 hour pay-per-view. Irony can be pretty ironic sometimes. You know what I'm saying? It's really just ironic. Ladies and gentlemen, officially welcome to the Essential Wrestling Podcast. My name is Karl. I am your host of Misinformation. We, of course, are always powered by the Eastern Observer. You can taste the power. We will not be going 5.5 hours today. We don't even go 2 hours. We try to keep it under 2. I think today today might go a little quick, actually. I'm going to try to shoot for an hour and a half. Here we go. No pay-per-views, no nothing coming up. It's a straight show. We lost the brand, but whatever. See what happens. On the bottom part of our screen, we have our first ever PWP champion, the living legend, John DeConnie. John, how are things today in your neck of the woods?
Good. It's a lovely day here in Jersey, and we're talking wrestling. Can't beat that.
And on the top part of our screen, joining us as always.
And number 4, John Smith.
John, how are things with you today?
Good, man. Already knocked out of my survivor pool on the NFL side of things. I had Denver and I had Tennessee. I could buy back, but I don't do buybacks.
Yeah, our buyback doesn't have the week 4. I had the Tennessee Titans, and there was over 800 and some odd people in it, $50 a pop. That was a $38,000 pool that the New York Giants just cost me. Again, continuing to ruin my life in every possible way that they can. On today's episode, Solo Sikoa makes his main roster debut on SmackDown. Eddie Edwards and Heath main evented Impact. Gary Mehaffy back this week. He joins us to discuss the upcoming 1-year anniversary of NXT 2.0. We make our picks for this week's upcoming shows, which are always sponsored by ProWrestlingPick'em.com. Play against your friends, play against the universe. And guys, she will like it too. We're going to main event this show with the United States Championship match to determine the face of Monday Night Raw. Here is the Raw roll-up action heading into this week, till last week. And like I said, at the end of last week's show, shocking developments. AEW has overtaken Monday Night Raw in the standings. Dogs and cats are getting along. I do believe it is snowing in hell. It has been absolutely nuts. AEW threw up a 4-spot last week to take the lead over Raw. And Impact is not that far behind. SmackDown has been dormant lately. But we'll see what's going on with this league. But we're going to curtain jerk this show with a little pro wrestling lesson, if you will. Let me just get everything set up here. A little pro wrestling lesson. Provided to us by one Maxwell Jacob Friedman. It's a lesson. It's called How to Be a Babyface 101. First, you make a big return to a pay-per-view after a long layup. That's what set this whole thing up. Crowd was happy to see MJF after All Out, specifically more after the scrum. You know, I was on the Save Us MJF. I created a hashtag. Didn't really catch on as I wanted to. I guess I'm not as big as an influencer as I thought I was. But that's how we start off. So he started the show after the announcement that they vacated the championships. We'll get into that in a second. But he started the show. First thing on the list, appear in the arena that are in, appear in the hometown. I got it backward. Appear in the local football team's jersey, specifically a quarterback, especially if he's good, such as Josh Allen.
Check.
The next thing you should do on the list, high five and or hug an announcer. That's good sign, yeah. Crowd going nuts. MJF going nuts. Run side to side on an entrance ramp yelling, "Let's go!" Yeah, MJ, he was fired up. Crowd was going nuts. This is some good stuff. You're writing this down, John Smith. You writing this down?
I'm sorry, I fell asleep.
Gotcha. Lean into the crowd to let them so they can feel the love and they're a part of your epic return. That's a good spot right there. Drop to your knees with your arms out and then in over your heart so you can feel the crowd cheering for you and take in the moment. Scream the hometown's team name. In this case, it was Buffalo, the hometown's name, and scream, "I'm back!" And the whole crowd goes nuts. Ask the crowd a question where they have to scream yes emphatically, as you see MJF right there, and there's the crowd in unison screaming at that point in time. As I mentioned, when we go back to the football jersey, mention the hometown team's quarterback and say he's the greatest of all time. There you go, Josh Allen. He actually had a pretty good day last Thursday, so they have every right to cheer him right now. Apologize for your sins, making us feel that he's reformed. There you go. Oh, that was a different one. Hold on, we'll get to that in a second. Chant, say you love the company you work for, followed by leading the chant of the company's initials. He was chanting AEW at that point. Stay without the wrestling fans. There's no MJF. There's no insert wrestler's name here. Give yourselves a round of applause. Without me, without you guys, there is no me. I do believe Hulk Hogan started that way back when in 2005. This one, it goes a little expert level. Call a fat woman in the crowd gorgeous. This one goes a little bit of a above and beyond here. MJF, he decided to pull apart. Look at that face right there. He's got the heart going with his hands. That one's good. Use your voice changing humbly, bragging about what you did at the pay-per-view that you returned on. In this case, MJF won the casino ladder match that he can cash in anytime he wants. The crowd goes absolutely crazy. And then he also just thrown there, he's making a boatload of money. So, yeah, the crowd's getting into it. Say you're going to be the leader the people need, comparing yourself to a great leader of the past, such as Moses. In this example, as you can see, MJ parting the Red Seas right there, saying that he's Moses. Say number 14, here we go. Yep, let the crowd chant your catchphrase, which they all did in unison. I'm better than you, and you know it, so that was good. But the real wrestling lesson here is healing AP honors, because MJF was full of crap the entire time. You will be quizzed on this by the end of the show, and like I said, extra credit if you can find a fat woman to call gorgeous. That was next level, MJF. That was the heart. You're beautiful, honey. Beautiful. But yes, John DeConnie, we have a vacated championship tournament that we will get into later on. But the main event of the show, and I'm glad they did all that stuff early. They got MJF out of the way. Actually, followed that was Jon Moxley, who came out. And Moxley, in my opinion, the same as everybody else's, Moxley did the right thing. They went to the right person on this. I was saying hashtag save us MJF. He was going to be the guy, but MJF's really not the guy for that. It is Jon Moxley. He's the guy with the experience. He's the guy that they brought over. He's been the champion for X amount of days with 2 separate title runs. And Jon Moxley in the ring saying it's time for him to become a legend. Put himself in that position and winning this tournament, I think it's irrelevant, but it's just, he's the guy. So just real quick, John, the quick roundtable. Jon Moxley, with what he did, what he said, is he the guy? I believe there was a members only meeting a roster meeting that was held by Moxley, Jericho, and Bryan Danielson. I guess I consider him a locker room leader, but he kind of hopped on a little bit late.
Yeah, it seems like at this point you can't go wrong with Mox. I'm not 100% sold on the fact that that's where they're going because of the way they've booked things in the past, but I think Mox would definitely be. Mox is all right. I'm not drawing this definitive parallel, but Mox is their John Cena in that, when Rob Van Dam gets pulled over and caught with weed in the car while he's carrying your title, you go right back to either Orton or Cena, those guys you can rely on. Mox, now that he seems to have his demons out of the way, is that guy they can go back to and rely on.
Yeah, John Smith, in case of emergency, John Moxley, right?
That seems to be the case. I mean, he fills the role really well. He puts on great matches all the time. He's probably like the best. Daniel Bryan's the best they got, but I think he's the most over with the crowd, though. So, absolutely put it back on and make him a 3-time. That way, CM Punk's 2-time championship thing isn't special because there's a 3-time champ, and call it a day.
Yeah, I'm not saying champion is one thing. He's held the belt, but like I said, he held it a long time after he beat Jericho that first time around, and he was the big free agent signing. He was the big guy. He carried us through the beginning part of the pandemic before he passed it off to Kenny Omega, but it just seems locker room leader. Exactly. John Cena was that guy. The Undertaker. Undertaker wasn't champion all that often, but he was the guy. Whether it be locker room leader, in-ring leader. I think if this was WWE, like back maybe for the past 25 years when Taker was there, Taker was making that speech. Hey, guys, ship's not falling. I got you. It'll be better. We're making sure it'll be better. These guys are gone. We're getting rid of them. Or apparently not getting rid of them yet, I guess. It's just all of them, including Punk's dog, still under contract. But I'm glad they got that out of the way first, address the elephant in the room, hit it head on, so that John DeConnie, the originally scheduled programming in Buffalo, the main event, hometown hero, does good.
Indeed. We had the ROH Pure Championship on the line in the main event between champion Wheeler Yuta of the Blackpool Combat Club and Daniel Garcia, the hometown boy, who I guess is still technically a member of the Jericho Appreciation Society, but there has been some slight distancing there. This is a guy who, it's almost blasphemy for him to call himself a sports entertainer, but that's been part of the fun of them of that crew getting over as heels. Well, what you got here was almost 17-minute. It was. These are two guys who don't go all the way back to the original Ring of Honor, but I think that Caprice Coleman sitting at the announce position and Bobby Cruz, who had handled the ring announcing for that match, I appreciate when they bring them in. I think those guys think that Garcia and Yuta did the Pure Championship proud because you got a 17-minute technical clinic, holds and reversals and grinding, and there was that one close fist that got a warning, and there was a rope break here. There, they hit on all the things that made you remember why the Pure Championship is special and different, and they did it while showing you why they're the next generation. These are two guys that health will permitting are going to be around for a long time. They're not the biggest guys, but they're technically sound. They put on great matches, and this one was a great match. Go to the closing sequence. You had Garcia applying a sharpshooter for what I believe was the 3rd time in the match and sitting way, way back to the point where Yuta was able to reach up and grab a chin lock, trying desperately to get out of it, but all he could do was grab the chin. There wasn't really much he could do with it, and eventually he had no choice but to tap. And your hometown boy gets a celebration in Buffalo. He is the new Ring of Honor Pure Champion. Bryan Danielson, his personal hero, and the man whom the story between Garcia butting heads with his leader, Chris Jericho, has revolved around. Danielson came into the ring, and there was a weird moment where Wheeler Yuta kind of like pushed Danielson aside because he hadn't shaken Garcia's hand yet. They upheld the proper procedures there in Ring of Honor and shook hands afterwards. And then Danielson put the belt around Garcia's waist, which had to have been an unbelievable dream for Garcia since that is his hero. And then Chris Jericho came down, and the show ended with him still on the ramp, but just the look of him being appalled that Garcia was having so much fun there with Danielson when he's a member of the Jericho Appreciation Society. So clearly we have not seen the end of this whole love triangle, if you will, storyline.
Yeah, it's gonna continue tomorrow night when they get out. We'll get into when we make our picks for Dynamite tomorrow night in the AEW Championship Tournament. As I mentioned, the AEW World Championship was vacated. The AEW Trios Championships were also vacated due to the suspension of Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks during their altercation. He said, she said with CM Punk. So they were all just stripped of their titles. The dog's okay, which I guess is the most important thing. But John DeConnie, originally scheduled match, we were going to get Best Friends versus the Death Triangle regardless. But Tony Khan came up and he got booed. Like, he's getting up there with like Goodell and Gary Bettman and all the other commissioners, where Vince McMahon's in a sex scandal and he gets cheered and people sing his theme song to the ring. Tony Khan's getting booed when he comes up on stage, so you better be careful going forward. He's like, this is gonna be a good idea. I can turn myself into a character. Yeah. Anyway, I digress. But he vacated the Trio Champions, and he announced that the Best Friends Death Triangle match would be for the vacated title. We're going to get this one out of the way right now. That's what he did.
Yeah, they had a really crappy situation going into that show, and a lot of people were tuning in just to see how much of a fustercluck it would be. And say what you want about Tony Khan, he handled it about as well as you could. He announced that world title tournament that I'm sure you'll get to, and there were a lot of names in there that make it very intriguing, and he took care of this with the Trios Championship. And what you got here was Death Triangle versus Best Friends, which was already, as you said, a scheduled Trios match for the evening. We turned that into the new title match without having any kind of brackets. We didn't need to roll all the way back to that. Unfortunately, now that Malachi Black is out of the company, I didn't get the final that I wanted between House of Black and Death Triangle. But this one served its purpose, and it was a hell of a 13-minute match. Even had a comedy break where Danhausen and Alex Abrahantes got at it outside at ringside. And then you had, of course, Phoenix and Penta jumping all around. At one point, they took out Cassidy and Trent with stereo topes. It left Pac in the ring with Chuck. He hit the Black Arrow, the 1, 2, 3, and Death Triangle are your new Trios champions. And we have a first ever in AEW, the first ever champ, and that goes to the bastard Pac.
Packy 2 belts. There you go.
Is that really the first two double champ in AEW?
Yeah.
Excluding obviously Kenny Omega with his other champion from other places. Yeah.
Yep.
Word.
ROH World Champion Claudio Castagnoli defeated Dax Hardwood in the main event of Rampage to retain the world title via the sharpshooter in an absolute classic. Side note, I just found out going through Twitter before the show just to make sure any matches were added last minute. I did see that FTR is going to have to defend the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships on October 1st against Aussie Open. So I think there is a New Japan show. I don't know where it was or what it's called. I forget what it was called. I saw it was they had the graphic and it was all moving and everything. It was pretty updated, 2022 graphic. But so I think the first time since they won them, they're going to have to defend them. So good luck, FTR. Jungle Boy was pissed about what happened to All Out, and rightly so. Got work just like everybody except for me. Saw it coming. Gonna take years off of Christian's life once Christian returns from surgery. Tough line here by Jungle Boy about Luchasaurus. It's ironic how you used to carry me on your shoulders. because for the past 3 years, I've carried you on my back. Jungle Boy with some fighting words. You see, you get him the microphone, he's actually not that bad. He's been practicing, I guess, all those years where he wasn't allowed to talk. Good for
There's a
him.
good deal of piss and vinegar in that boy.
There it is.
I'm sure Christian's been the one coaching him through this whole thing.
That's a great point. Andrade again trying to recruit Preston Vance to go and work for him. And again, Preston isn't allowed to speak for himself, as both Evil Uno and John Silver were the vocal ones denying Andrade. Keep that in your heads. Preston's not the one saying no right now. Preston's not saying no. Just throwing it out there. Before the Acclaimed could begin doing their thing, they were interrupted by Swerve Strickland. Some words were said, nothing really important, but they're promoting their match. They're having a rematch, an all-out rematch at Grand Slam next Wednesday. I think the Acclaimed are going to be the ones who are benefiting from all of this crap. We're going to give the people what they want to make them happy to get them back. The Acclaimed are the most over things in AEW right now. We will discuss it next week, but spoiler, I am picking the Acclaimed to win the Tag Team Championship. They got to start doing some stuff right by the fans, and this is probably the first of two things that they're going to do that night to make it rectify. Wardlow defeated Tony Nese after a symphony of powerbombs to retain the TNT title. Jade Cargill's baddies beat up a stagehand for cueing Stokely Hathaway to wrap it up before because they were low on time, and of course by Jade Cargill's baddies. I'm not talking about Kiera Hogan or the other one. I can't remember her name right now. I was talking about Morrissey and Ethan Page and everybody else that Stokely Hathaway is sisters in Christ. Keep your clothes on. There you go. And then we had a promo from Miro, who's not happy that God took Malachi away from him. He's also not happy that there's another championship tournament that he is not a part of. John DeConnie, what do you do with Miro? Now what do you do?
I heard somebody say, let him replace Malachi. Give him two. But I don't. Like a monster doesn't need monsters with him, so I don't like that idea. I like the idea of him running through the House of Black, having a match with each one of them, but I don't know what you do without Malachi there. Like, Murphy and Brody they need a third guy in that to kind of keep it together, and I don't know what you do with Miro as that forms or reforms, or I don't know.
Know what you can do? Not with Miro in general, but John Smith, the House of Black. You want to make some ripples? Turn Sting heel. And give Sting Brody and Malachi.
See, that would make me care a little bit about Sting.
Yes, it would. I wouldn't mind that Sting. It's already got the face paint, the eye.
Yeah, otherwise that little duo is screwed. I mean, Miro doesn't belong with them, but
no.
I think Miro needs to just let his contract run out and come back home because it's Rusev Day. Did you know it's Rusev Day today?
You know what? I read something somewhere about it, and I wasn't sure, but I guess I do believe today is Rusev Day, actually.
Amazing.
Happy Rusev Day.
Happy Rusev Day. So coming up this Wednesday night, we got a couple matches to talk about. First, as I mentioned, Tony Khan, he vacated the AEW Championship as a result of what happened with the post-conference scrum, all-out scrum that ended up in a backstage altercation. That's still to be determined if it's a work or not. Anyway, the world title's vacated, so they have a tournament of champions. They did a football style, old school football style, I guess I have to call it that right now, where two guys get a bye, and then there's a wild card round with four other guys. So it was wild card Wednesday last week. Bryan Danielson defeated Hangman Page after a roll-up check one, the O'Connor roll into a bridge to advance in the tournament of champions. He's going to face Chris Jericho. Backstage with Chris Jericho, he's going to do he's been doing what Ponce de Leon couldn't do, and that's find the fountain of youth. Jericho as the hashtag BWE/BSEEBC, BWEBC. I forget, best wrestler ever, best sports entertainment ever, I believe is that acronym. Wants the AEW title because it's his company and it's his locker room. John Smith, we have a rematch from All Out. Winner goes to Grand Slam in the AEW Championship Tournament of Champions match. Chris Jericho, Bryan Danielson. Who do you got?
The old 50-50 buyback, and they get it done right away. I got Daniel Bryan. Yes.
John McConney.
This one's tougher to pick than it should be because still having that Garcia thing hanging around, there could be some way that he either intentionally or unintentionally plays a part in this. I'm going to say Bryan Danielson because that's the way it should go. That's the way this should be. But if you're definitely going with Mox overall, maybe you knock Bryan Danielson out at this point and, have Jericho say, me and Mox in the finals, blah, blah, blah. We've already fought for the title before. But I'm going to go with Danielson, but it's closer than it should be.
All right, and then on Rampage was the other wild card match where Sammy Guevara, he defeated Darby Allin after a low blow, followed by a powerbomb into Darby's own skateboard, followed by the Go to Hell. Sammy gets owned by Jon Moxley next Wednesday or tomorrow night, so we won't get into that. So I didn't make my pick. I got Bryan Danielson winning this whole thing. So I got him beating Jericho. I got him beating Moxley. He is the safe bet. You can't, in case of emergency hit Moxley, I get it, but we just broke that glass about 2 months ago. We didn't even replace the glass yet. So let's start something new, something fresh. Was it something blue? I don't know what brides get. Anyway, I got Bryan Danielson, and that's my second Grand Slam happy moment is all the yeses. And
the only reason I'm not 100% on board with you there, I think that's a happy moment. That's a please the crowd moment. In the back of TK's mind, is he thinking to himself like, I just had all these nightmares with my champion getting hurt. Do I worry about Bryan Danielson putting on a 6.5-star match and then costing himself, 3 months because he gets another concussion or something like that? It's the only reason why I'm not just like, oh, it's got to be like, I know Tony Khan wants to add Bryan Danielson to the lineage of that title. I have no doubt about that. In the back of his mind, is he saying like, but Mox might be more reliable at this point. So I'm still kind of up in the air about that. I think you're probably right, but in the back of my mind, I worry about Danielson's health only because it's very recently been an issue.
And every time he wins a champion, the last run when he beat AJ Styles, that where it was going to WrestleMania 35. That was the last time he was champ for a little bit and he didn't get it. But the past two prior runs, he was injured right away. So that was but he for the most part has been seriously injury free since he came back at WrestleMania 34. And if I remember correctly, it was 2018, so 4 years ago. So that's that. By the way, if anybody's looking for an experienced, I guess a podcast promoter, go into our Facebook comments, find Ladder 4 Rahman Bobby. You can make
the manager over at
popular and get sponsorship guaranteed to increase business income. So, Mr. Bobby.
He's also the manager over at Helena's Cell.
Yeah, he does podcast promoting on the side when he sells cell phones. Tony Storm defeated Penelope Ford with a pendulum DDT. Serena Deeb on Rampage defeated Madison Rayne after a Serenity Lock. This Wednesday, we're going to have a tag team match with Tony Storm, our interim AEW Women's Champion. I got a question for you. Dumb question. John Smith. I've been saying I put interim in front of the AEW Women's Championship, but if you go to AEW, it's the AEW Interim Women's Championship. What do you prefer? Does it matter? The nomenclature?
I think the second one sounds better, but no, I mean, I think either way, you shouldn't have interim ever in the first place.
Yes, that's
the real answer.
Yes. C, correct answer, but we're choosing between A and B here, John McConney.
I go with the leading off with interim.
leading the interim, because it's the AEW women's, but it's the interim AEW. I don't know.
Exactly. That's the modifier of the whole phrase.
Yes. So Toni Storm and Hikaru Shida, they're going to go against the Good Doctor, Britt Baker, DMD, and Serena Deeb. This should be sneaky good, John Smith. I'm actually looking forward to this one. It's for probably the top 6 that they got.
Wait, who was it again?
Toni Storm, Hikaru Shida against Britt Baker and Serena Deeb.
I feel like Britt's been getting the short end of the stick for a while, so I'll go with Britt on this one.
All right, and Hikaru Shida's been on TV for a couple weeks in a row, John Connie.
Yes, very, very impressive. I'm going to go with the heels here because I think there's even a chance that Toni Storm takes the pin here to set up her next championship opponent. So.
Okay. Samoa Joe is back. He's ready to bring some violence back to AEW in ring, of course. I think we need to preface that going forward. He wants to bring the violence in the ring.
It's very important.
Enter Mark Sterling, who says Josh the Goods Woods. I love that wrestler. That's a great wrestling name. Josh the Goods Woods deserves a title shot. Joe said, let's do it now. Mark Sterling said, let's do it next week. So the main event of Rampage next Friday, John Smith, Samoa Joe, and Josh the Goods Woods for the Ring of Honor Television Championship.
I think the champ retains here. He'll probably get a good fight brought to him, but he's going to put him to sleep, I think.
Former Pure Champion, I believe, because I just updated my my title history today. I forgot to update with Daniel Garcia, who is the 12th Pure Champion in that title's lineage. The first ever champion was AJ Styles, but I do believe Josh Woods won the tournament to bring that title back maybe like 2 years ago or whatever it was.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, and for that reason, I think, like John said, this will be a hell of a match. But I'm guessing if they didn't take the TV title off of Samoa Joe to put it on Jay Lethal, then they intend to have a little more of a run and a story to go with Joe, assuming he stays healthy. So give me the champ retaining.
Yeah, and I thought Samoa Joe, this was the first time we've seen him since All Out. Not All Out. We came back at All Out, but it's the first time we've seen him since Double or Nothing. I think he was filming something. He wasn't injured or anything. So that was, and if that was the case, why didn't we have an interim Ring of Honor television champion? Crap. Play both sides of the coin here. Let's go. Anyway, so that will do it for AEW. Look for it's gonna be a fun night of Dynamite tomorrow night. As we're gonna bring in Gary Mehaffy, Gary, top of the evening to him. Larry, John the Connie, going to move you over. How are things going today? I know it's a little bit of a somber feeling over in the UK. The Queen did not survive the end of NXT UK. Couldn't handle it. Just like Hunter. We're going to celebrate 1 year of Hunter having a heart attack because of the colors you see in our background right now.
Yeah, it is a very sad time, although it has to be said, I'm enjoying while you were waiting there, just reading a letter for Rahman Papi's message, as you say. Yeah. I noticed it was nice when they said at the end that it would be very instant, which ironically is my wife's nickname for me. But it's just been one of those weekends, and at least the wrestling's got us through. So
instant carry that.
Cheers, Gary.
Oh, I'm trying to remember that one to see if we can get that one to stick. Tyler Bate did an in-ring promo to start the show last Tuesday, thanking everybody for their support for him and NXT UK. Interrupted by Gallus saying Tyler disappointed everybody by losing. Gary, you're disappointed. I was disappointed because I had him. That cost me 30 points.
Yeah.
I wasn't disappointed. I was pissed.
I did. I thought Tyler would take it, and that would be Braun going up, but obviously not.
Yeah. Tyler pointed out that Gallus failed as well. Good point. Which prompted Gallus to start swinging. 3-on-1 attack on Tyler Bate, thwarted by NXT champion Braun Breaker, who then offered a tag team match that main evented the show, John Smith. That was the circle right there. That was like Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown. You start what you end with, or you end what we started with.
Yep, and this one kind of went exactly how any of the four of us would have expected to go or booked it ourselves. You know, the two faces that fought for the titles 2 nights before, teaming up, all chummy. They get the victory. You know, there's a little interference from Gallus, but you know they overcome it. Tyler Bate hits the Tyler driver for the win. So it just seemed like a pretty lame ending. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, comes JD McDonough. He slams or he drop kicks Tyler into Braun. Braun is down. Tyler gets hit with the devil inside, and then JD retreats up into the crowd when Braun gets back in the ring. So it looks like we've got Tyler Bate versus JD McDonough coming up for us.
Gary, we had to have seen that in UK at some point. Devlin and Tyler Bate, like they've had to have crossed paths.
I think they have once, maybe twice. We need to check that, but yeah.
JD McDonough had a match earlier in the night. He defeated Wesley with the devil inside. I'm happy they kept the name of that move. Intense matchup between the two. That was a lot of fun. Real quick, one last thing about Tyler Bate before, because I didn't mention this last week at in the Worlds Collide match. There was a part of that match I was watching with John Smith. Tyler Bate embarrassed Braun Breaker like for about a minute, just do it like Braun. He couldn't keep up with him. Like Tyler was moving lightning quick, and Braun just sat there, just not even knowing like what the hell was going on. Like it was kind of funny, but yeah, that's what I thought. Where I'm like, oh my, Tyler has to win this. Anyway, yeah, so I was pissed. Gary, JD McDonough defeated Wesley. That was nice, intense matchup.
Yeah, I mean, it really wasn't, and we all figured, as you said, it would end up with JD winning with the devil inside, which I think they've kind of just tried to rename by splitting it. Instead of calling it the devil inside, it's now the devil inside. Oh, hey, see what you did there.
That was the pun. That was the pun. Well, it was Devlin with a side suplex, and now it's a devil because he's psycho.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was a good match. I do think Wesley's kind of floating still at the minute. Doesn't quite know what to do with him, if you pardon the expression, but they're not quite sure where he is. But it was sort of almost a good star-making performance for him too.
It was. I know what to do with Wesley. We'll get to Wesley. We'll get back to Wesley in a little bit. Gary, staying with you. This Axiom guy, I think he kind of shocked I Spy a Jersey guy, Nathan Frazier from the Isle of Jersey. Axiom, so I think he surprised him on that one. This match was fast. Holy crap.
Yeah. He was moving so fast, actually. At one point, when he did his early on the match, when Nathan Frazier caught him with the suicide dive, he hits the ropes so quick and runs so fast. The ropes, I was actually rewound it because I was scared for him, because the ropes were still shaking as he dove through it, and he caught his foot, and I was like, oh my word, he's going to go head first here. But I say, thankfully didn't. But they traded lots of dives, strikes, and submissions, and I'm not really sure what they call it. I've seen it somewhere that they said that Frazier hit him with a lion salt into the eye of the hurricane. I'm not sure if he has a name for it or not, but again, traded a lot more submissions and moves until eventually Frazier with the Superman punch, and then his Axiom hit him with the Superman punch, and then caught him with his jumping super kick finisher for the Ono Dos Tres. There we are, like that.
Yeah, I still call it the Liu Kang kick until they tell me otherwise. That's just Liu Kang from Mortal Kombat. John DeConnie, Meiko Satomura, again, I guess Roxanne Perez was very respectful. She said the word please when asking for this match. She got it.
That's why we didn't get Meiko Satomura versus Cora Jade.
Yes.
Because Cora did, go out of her way to invite Meiko into the generation of Jade, and she was going to bless her with a match against the one and only Cora Jade. Meiko said, sorry, not only are you kind of being a bitch the way you're asking, but I've already got a match because someone came to me very respectfully, and that someone was Roxanne Perez. So we got an 11+ minute match between these two, and it was a very good back and forth. For the fans who weren't really familiar with Meiko, you got to see exactly why she is a legend and has been around as long as she has been. And in the end, she dropped Roxy with a Pele kick and followed with her Scorpio Rising to get the 1, 2, 3. And afterwards, once again, they shared a respectful handshake and a bow. And once again, Cora Jade, being a bitch, slides in with her kendo stick just after Meiko leaves, and she whacks Roxy. Meiko comes back, runs Cora off. Once again, we've not seen the end of this, I'm sure.
Yeah, this is Roxanne Perez. She blocked Cora Jade. You know, bleep's getting real with those two. Like this is. I don't even know if this is kayfabe anymore. I don't know. Like if this might not be.
I mean, before you block, do you put someone on blast? Is that the way it works now? I'm not sure.
I think so. I don't know. I think this is a shoot. I don't. This is as long as no dogs are. Kenny Omega's gonna save Roxanne's dog, and then just those two are gonna go at it. John Smith, we had a women's tag team match. Toxic Attraction cost Doudrop and Nikki ASH the NXT Tag Team Championships at Worlds Collide, and it just seems like Toxic Attraction has been all in Kaden and Katana's business, but helping them to a point. So Doudrop and Nikki are getting their revenge first.
Yeah, and they're not really like explaining why either. It doesn't make sense. I mean, so we get this match between Doudrop and Nikki versus Toxic Attraction, and pretty standard match when you're basically working heel on heel. So nobody really had the heel edge, in that regard. Doudrop hits the Vader bomb into the elbow, and during the cover, JC does her best Seth Rollins impression and kicks freaking Doudrop's face off. Remember when he needs Cena and displaced his nose under his cheek, under his eyeball? So then now Doudrop's gushing blood out of her nose, but that didn't stop her from hitting a Michinoku driver to Gigi, and then a big crossbody to a sat up Gigi for the pin.
Yeah, I call that a low cross body because everything is a high cross body. I just call that a low cross body. Like that's fair. Nobody else does it.
Right.
Word.
Grayson Waller did some serious damage to Apollo Cruz's eye. Holy crap. Anyway, so that was that segment. We got some big matches coming up tonight for the first anniversary of NXT 2.0. I talked a little to John DeConnie about it in pre-production while you guys weren't there yet. John Smith, it was a year ago where we asked the infamous question, who the hell are these guys? All right, that was what's your 1 year anniversary memory? So what's your memories? Anything stick out from the past year of NXT 2.0? Because that was John DeConnie's response. Yeah, for a year now, but who the hell was that guy?
Oh, I think that NXT has stayed the same. They've always been cycling through people, always trying new things. The problem was that people heard that Vince McMahon had a bigger hand in it, which ended up not even being true. And then they changed the colors, and then people like you call it Nickelodeon, And, it gets this image of like, oh, now it's like a kiddie show, but it's the same thing, same great character development. Don't know what they see in Braun Breaker yet. I'll give you guys that. But, I mean, it's still the same old NXT to me. I love it. Best 2 hours of wrestling a week.
All right. Gary?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, actually. The thing for me that you can see happening, you can see it through the previous regime and even back now that sort of, not that Hunter's in charge, obviously it's still Sean or whatever, but for Braun Breaker, you can see that they are obviously in love with him and think he's going to be the man, but they're feeding him a lot of really strong workers, a lot of really good wrestlers to try and give him a little bit, and they're giving them longer matches. So I think common sense has prevailed that they seem to be saying, if we're bringing these guys up, let's actually try and make sure that they know what they're doing before we just let them loose in the main roster and they flop. So to me, they're actually going back to being proper developmental with it, I think.
Yeah. John DeConnie.
Yeah, and that's exactly the part of it that I have sometimes gotten frustrated with in this past year, that it is developmental, and it's playing out very much like developmental probably should. But developmental usually doesn't have a TV show. So there have been times where I've watched storylines progress and been like, why the hell are they doing? Like, I have literally sat at NXT premium live events or whatever, or special Tuesday night episodes where we were scoring them for points. And by the end of the show, I would just be staring at my television screen going, I hate this brand. I hate this brand. I love the black and gold brand. I hate the unicorn vomit brand. But again, you have to step back and remember this is developmental. This is exactly what should be going on in developmental. Developmental usually doesn't have nationwide TV.
See, the thing is, John Smith is exactly correct. I was Nickelodeon. I've made the jokes about. It's not kiddie. I don't think it's a kiddie show. I don't think it's. It's like that. It's pro wrestling. The whole thing's kiddie. Anyway, so the big change was especially with the 2.0. This was right after they released everybody, and Vince was done with indie stars, and we're going back to our ex-football guys. We're going back to our ex-boxers. We're going back to our ex. Whoever. I think the only one that really was actually, I don't even know that he was in it. I mean, the Solo Sikoa, I think, was maybe the only one that was just like, okay, well, my family does this. He was the only one. Breaker was a former football player. Waller was a former boxer. Trick Williams a former boxer. So they changed the philosophy. That was what was bothering me. So you're trying to learn all these new guys who were true developmental. So it was true to form, but you said now. Yeah, I think from this point last year up until now, I think Grayson Waller made huge jumps. I think Braun Breaker is doing okay. He's exactly right. What Gary said, they're putting him with the right people, like Dolph Ziggler and Tyler Bate, and everybody else has been around for a hot minute. That can be like, okay, well, we can do. He's learning as he's on the fly. To be who he's supposed to be. In the meantime, he's a Steiner. He just yells in a microphone and he gets angry. That's what we get. So it's been okay. It's getting better. And now that Hunter Sean has to answer to Hunter and not Vince. See what happens there. We have the first match we're going to talk about. Big Body Javi is back on TV last week. Still picking a fight with that security guard. They'll eventually get at it. It should be fun. That's going to happen tonight. The guy's name is Hank Walker. I thought it was Seth Rogen. Turns out it's Hank Walker versus Big Body Javi, John DeCon. That's where I'm going. Big Body Javi here. Let's go.
So they're actually having this match now.
We're having the match tonight. There we go. This is it.
I missed that one.
Put up or shut up for Big Body Javi. Let's go.
Yeah. I guess you kind of got to go Javi, although it would be a pisser if the guy came right off of the security team and then beat the guy who's been patting himself on the back for weeks now. But I think probably Javi gets it done here. Probably by heel tactic.
It has to be heel tactic. I can see. I don't see Javi winning this, which is going to make it even better. Gary,
I'm actually going to go Hank Walker, and I have to be very careful not to make. You have to be careful not to mix his name up, get the wrong way around. But if I'm thinking Hank Walker because with all the security guards and all the stuff that'll go on, and Big Body Javi's just been giving it too much with his mouth instead of his body. I think Hank's going to take it and leave him squirming for tonight.
All right. John Smith, apparently you got that joke. I'm still trying to piece it together. Walk Hanker? Like I don't know.
Wink.
Not quite. Just switch the initials round.
Wank.
Just the first letters.
Wank honker.
First letters.
Now you got it. Good one, Gary.
It's a much more common word where Gary comes from.
yeah, exactly. Honk wanker. Good. John Smith.
I think it would be fun if this was all a swerve to introduce us to this new security guard guy, and he's got a whole story or something. But no, I got Big Body Javi winning this one by heel tactics, of course.
Kiana James has a new assistant. That got my attention. Okay, good work, Kiana. Talk nerdy to me. Both of you.
She's a badass.
Ariana Grace also doesn't like Zoe Stark and Nikita, so it looks like they're going to fit it in both of their busy schedules to take on Zoe Stark and Nikita Lyons this week, John Smith.
I got to go with Nikita winning this one. Nikita and Zoe.
Yeah, this should be pretty straightforward, Gary.
Yeah, I think that too, which probably means if I'm picking them, they'll lose. But yeah, I think Nikita and Zoe as well.
John DeConnie?
You know what? stick the flag in my own little island here and say that Kiana and Ariana get it done, perhaps with the assistance of Giovanna, the assistant.
What's her name? Giovanna?
Yeah, Giovanna Eberneo. She's a BJJ like black belt. She's a badass chick.
BAJ, badass chick. Okay, gotcha. She looks badass. Anyway. Tony Beach, Giddish, offering Cameron Grimes a spot in the family again. And again, Grimes said no, that he doesn't need anybody. Eventually, Stacks made a comment that pissed off Grimes to the point where Grimes threw his espresso, not espresso, his espresso, at Stacks, and then was proceeded to be beat down by Tony. So we're going to have a tag team match tonight. It's going to be Stacks and Tony Beach, Giddish in the family. Going against Cameron Grimes and a mystery partner, a partner of Grimey's choosing. Gary, Grimey hasn't had a friend since Ted DiBiase.
Yeah, I think if Vince was still in charge, you'd have some random boy with a really random name. I honestly don't know. I was thinking, I was going through the roster going, who could they do? Could they bring somebody in? Will they bring like a name in? I'm honestly not sure who it is.
Bobby! Sorry.
Wait, maybe they could bring in somebody from AEW. Let's see that roster real quick.
There's one or two there. Maybe it'll be CM Punk.
Could you imagine? That could be the answer to the questions again now.
Yes.
After only a year.
Oh, I can't wait till Tyler's back on.
I have no idea, but I'm going for Cameron Grimes for the win.
All right, John DeConnie.
Yeah, I'm going to say Grimes gets it done. I mean, if I had to put money on it, I'd say maybe they just let Wesley go out with him because it's baby faces. But I heard a little grumbling this week, and I'm not even going to sponge bomb it. But I'm gonna tell you who I really hope shows up because I've heard, like I said, little grumblings about perhaps someone reverting back to another character. And wouldn't it be crazy if Cameron Grimes was tagging with L.A. Knight?
Wow.
Yeah.
Was this the segment? I didn't take it down in my notes. I know Quincy Elliott arrives next. He's arriving tonight as well. Was he eyeing up Cameron Grimes? Was it that he was eyeing up somebody last week? From behind,
I don't recall.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Quincy Elliott on this one. This is going to make his debut as a tag team partner with Grimes. And then Grimes is going to, hey, you join me. And then Grimes is going to get weirded out about that one, too. So, again, Grimes, so I'm going to go with Quincy Elliott on that one. And that will be. I'm
going to go with Andre Chase. Just because I want to see it.
That would be a lot of fun.
Grimey that chase you? That'd be good.
Yes. He could get an honorary doctorate from Chase U. It would be great.
We have another new wrestler, Sol Ruka. Apparently he's a surfer. Or she's a surfer. I did not catch a gender on this one, but then again, is it a gender? Is it sex? I don't even know anymore with male. I don't know. Anyway, I couldn't. There's a surfer coming soon. There you go. Pretty Deadly in the back. They were admiring their the double side plate check. That was awesome. That was worth them winning both belts. The picture they took in the hotel room together. They're great. Yes, boy. Lash people are saying Damon Kemp was the only reason that they won, which was the theme of the evening, which was pissing Pretty Deadly off. And we'll get to that in a second because we're going to go back to Lash Legend. Because she actually had just announced she's going to finally have her match, John DeConnie, with Fallon Henley tonight. That's been stemming from that whole tag team titles. They've been brawling on the outside throughout that whole tag team unification feud. So we're finally going to get Last Legend versus Fallon Henley tonight.
Okay. I guess give me Lash Legend here because she's the more outgoing. Like we know a lot more about her than we do Fallon Henley. Fallon Henley just hangs out with the good old boys, but she doesn't really have a whole lot to say. Lash is the more formed character, if you will. So give me Lash Legend here.
All right, John Smith.
I haven't found Lash to be too impressive, so I don't know if I feel like they kind of put a pause or a stop to like the push she was getting about 6 months ago, So I think they might see something in Fallon Henley, so I'm just going to go with her on this one.
Gary, both of these women competed overseas in NXT UK. I do believe Lash Legend won a match or two, but I believe the one match Fallon wrestled, she lost. The Isle of Dawn, right?
Yeah. Yeah, although I'm gonna go Lash Legend on this. I think if they're gonna start a beef between them, that Lash will go over and then we can kind of catch up. The face can get in there. Fallon can catch her up. So I'm gonna say Lash Legend tonight.
I'm thinking Lash Legend should win, but I think this is an actually wrestling match. I think Lash Legend has been lacking. Like I think Fallon should win this, but I think Lash will. That makes sense. Back to Pretty Deadly. There we go. Here comes Tony Beach Kinesis. He was piling it on Pretty Deadly, saying Kemp was the reason that they won at Worlds Collide. Meanwhile, Damon Kemp took down Diamond Mine from the inside. He was overlooked and he got pissed. Brilliant heel plan by Damon Kemp. Good job. But now we're going to Pretty Deadly, all fired up. They're all pissed off. They're in an interview with the Creeds, talking about how they were going to kill Damon Kemp. Enter Pretty Deadly, saying that they're going to give the NXT Universe the power to pick the stipulation for tonight's Tag Team Championship rematch against the Creed brothers. It's like Taboo Tuesday, boys. There we go. Remember that show? They don't want to hear any more excuses on social media that they didn't win this on their own. It was announced last night on Monday Night Raw that it will be a steel cage match, Gary Mehaffy, and it will start the show tonight at 8 o'clock.
I think to me, whichever way it goes will dictate a few things. I think if the Creeds win, I could easily see Pretty Deadly being moved up to the main roster. But I think because they've only just unified them in the double side plates, there's going to be some sort of shenanigans, whether it's Damon Kemp or what it is, and I think the Pretty Deadly will retain.
John Smith.
Yeah, I got Damon Kemp helping Pretty Deadly win. They escape.
No, John DeConnie, if that's happening again, now we're just going around in circles here because now we're just going to pile it on to Pretty Deadly that Damon Kemp, helped them again beat the Creeds. So
true. Yeah, and maybe we see Roddy get involved too because Kemp took credit for dropping Roddy, but in the end, I think you went to Pretty Deadly to unify these titles. That's not an insignificant thing. I really don't see you taking them off in the first week. So give me Pretty Deadly retaining.
Yeah, I got Pretty Deadly as well. But now, see, the whole Diamond Mine situation, just to touch on that for a second. So we have Julius and Roddy. They were at each other. And then the whole Roddy and Tony Beach Kadesh thing where they kind of give each other a wink or a nod or whatever. And my whole theory about Roddy hiring Tony D to take out the Creeds. But now they got Demon. So now, do Julius and Roddy go back to being along? Are we just going to forget that Tony D was even involved in this?
Or
there's a lot going on in this feud, Gareth.
Do we have Bobby Fish coming back?
We might have Bobby Fish coming back.
To kind of replay that.
Then we have the other match. Ricochet defeated Trick Williams after a recoil followed by a shooting star press. Post-match, Carmelos Hayes has to defend the North American title tonight against an opponent of the NXT Universe's choosing. So I went on to WWE.com before we went on air today, and here are your three choices. Von Wagner, Joe Gacy, or Shawn Michaels, who we know is a fan of the show and watches. Wes Lee is in this, and it is between the three of them. And I called it, and it's going to happen tonight on the 1-year anniversary. Your new North American champion, Wes Lee. John DeConnie, who do you got?
I cannot disagree. I don't know if I've seen it myself or it's because you put it in my head, but I've been waiting for this to happen. Here it is. Pull the trigger, baby. You just had your star-making performance by between Ricochet and
Mello. Yeah, what else do you need to do?
Yeah. So exactly, what's he got left to do with that, the mid-card title, if you will? So yeah, pull the trigger.
John Smith. Or it could be Joe Gacy. I have to get the fan. He has to get the fan vote, right? Over those three, over those two.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely gonna be Wes Lee. And that's why they made it those three people, because they wanted it to be Lee. But I don't see them. No, I don't think they're gonna put that belt on him yet. No, I got Carmelo winning still.
All right, Gary.
I could say I do think it's set to try and make it that Wesley gets it. And I do think, I talked earlier on of saying, he's kind of floundering, he's not doing anything. This would be, as you say, this could be the one and the way to set him on. So I think you could be on to something. And Wesley, I think, will take it.
All right. So, Gary, anything else before we get out of here? We appreciate you staying up late.
No, obviously it's like every segment nearly in NXT had somebody from UK on it, near enough.
Yeah.
But I do think that we're looking in a couple of weeks' time at when Axiom and Nathan Frazier finish off. They dropped in the commentary about how Frazier was talking to him about he didn't think he could last a rounds match. I think there's a rounds match coming, and we all know who that means is coming in behind him. Here he come.
Better have that trophy with him. He better have that trophy, and he better get Alicia Fox, and then all of them be right with the world. It'd be absolutely awesome. Gary, thank you so much for staying up with us, pal. Again, we are sorry about the loss of your queen, even though I don't think you're in Belfast. You're in North. You have to. Yeah. So our condolences for you on that. 96 years old, very impressive. Betty White was 99, so we win. Again, we win. Have a great night, Gary.
Yeah, have a good one. See you later.
See you later, Gary.
So that'll make the smooth transition from NXT to Impact, which there really is no smooth transition. I guess I just say that after every. That's a smooth transition, right?
Why not?
John DeConnie, we had the main event: Eddie Edwards and Heath, the guy who's been after Honor No More for what they did with Rhino. I believe we did call a Rhino return last week. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Well, not out of the question, though, right?
Well, we didn't get that, but what we got was a fun 12-minute match between Eddie Edwards and Heath. We had Heath even, he hit the wake-up call. So for a minute there, you might have thought he could have gotten this big victory over the number one contender, but Mike Bennett slides in, and he gets a wake-up call too. And as the ref is rolling Bennett out, Eddie goes with a low blow uppercut and follows with the Boston Knee Party to get the 1, 2, 3. But more importantly, afterwards, Eddie calls out the champ, calls out Josh Alexander, tells him he's kind of takes sides in this war that Eddie seems to have brought up in his own head between what's right and what Impact management is doing to everyone, apparently. And Josh Alexander told him, if there's two sides to be chosen, I'm not on the one with you, Eddie, because I think everything you're doing is wrong. And okay, that's fine. You're not going to join Honor No More. You're not going to be on our side of the war. And then there's 6 of us to beat the living hell out of you. So that proceeded. Heath tried to help out. Rich Swann even tried to help out. Didn't go their way. Honor No More ended the night on top. In fact, the new tag team champions stood over the downed heavyweight champion, and Eddie held the world title in his face.
Touched the bell.
Tisk, tisk, tisk.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that. Eddie's right, though. I kind of feel like he was the one that's supposed to beat Kenny Omega. He did it. Anyway, enough harping on that. Eddie is like Michael B. Jordan in Black Panther. Like he's the villain, but he's justified. He has it great. Like he's not wrong. Match on Thursday night, John Smith. As a result of this, it will be Josh Alexander. It will be Rich Swann. And then we'll be going against the new tag team champions, OGK, in a non-title contest. Titles will not be on the line. Missing again from this also, Rhino didn't make an appearance. Willie Mack didn't come out either, and that's what if we can get like a 6-on-6 Donnybrook involving Willie Mack and Rhino and all this, that would have been awesome. But
Sign me up for that.
Yeah, I'll go with the champs, even though it's not a title.
John the Conning.
Yeah, you got, unfortunately for Rich Swann, you got him there to eat a pin. So, yeah, I think the tag champs deserve to, not be treated like the women's tag team champs in WWE and lose the minute they get the belt.
I'll go Josh, and it's going to be another disqualification. This is going to be a disqualification situation. This is just going to be just beat him down. Just get Josh in the ring, beat him down. Maybe now we get Rhino. Like, maybe now this is where Rhino returns. Heath will come out. He'll still get, because the numbers game is still 6 on 3 or 4. It's Josh, Rhino, and Swan, or Josh, Swan, and Heath. Like, it's still 6 on 3.
Rhino will even the score, though.
He would.
Rhino's worth 3.
Rhino is worth. Eddie Edwards earlier mentioned in the night to Kenny King and OGK that Vincent was off cleansing PCO. Again, feels unprovoked. But I thought they were just missing from TV tapings that week or something. But nope. Video package of PCO and headgear that was apparently shocking him while Vincent was whispering sweet nothings into his ear. I hope this works for PCO's sake, because he's just getting killed for absolutely zero reason. Chelsea Green defeated Ty Valkyrie after Jessica was arguing with the referee for not being in position for a roll-up victory for Taya. Turned into a poke to the eyes, Chelsea pushing Taya into Jessica into an I'm prettier for the win. Jessica tried to help. Didn't work out. So I think we're going to circle back to that she can't be trusted at ringside. But I guess they still have a couple of weeks for Bound for Glory. Maybe Decay gets the rematch then. Decay, Rosemary and Taya get the rematch then or something. Mickey James defeated Glass Joe, or In Action, or I guess you can call him Glass Joe. We're kind of comparing what Mickey James is doing to Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Don't know the wrestler's name, but little bio on Glass Joe. He's the first character Little Mac has to fight in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. He's not much competition and has the weakest chin in the game. You can use him as a practice tool to perfect your dodging and punching counter attacks. So that's pretty much what Mickey James did. I do believe if she comes on every week fighting somebody different, that'd be great. Von Kaiser's up next, followed by the minor circuit champion, Piston Honda. Aussie Open, John Smith. How was this was your first time seeing Aussie Open? They were in NXT for a hot minute. I guess maybe you missed that in the Trios Championship tournament, but this was they're going to be an Impact for a little bit. The New Japan Strong Tag Team Champions Open. Right?
You said they were in NXT for a minute?
AEW.
What did I say? NXT.
I was going to say no. I didn't. Okay, but no, I don't remember them in the Trios. But the one dude without the mustache kind of reminds me of Theory, just in the way he acts and taunts his opponent and whatnot. Smash was pretty good though. A lot of nice moves that I can't even describe or know the name of. At one point, Ace Austin did a running, I guess, moonsault, because I guess he spun before he went. It was crazy, over the top rope. Then the finish was a double. They tied Chris Bay's arms and legs up together and did some sort of slam to him. But I don't know. Just go watch it. It was fun, and it's not that long. So I just watched it 4 times while we were here. And these moves, I don't know what the hell they're called. I really don't know what to say.
That finisher is called the Coriolis, after the Coriolis effect.
Are we allowed to say that?
I checked with Joey. That one's clear.
And once again, as we mentioned earlier,
I didn't even find it.
We mentioned in the AEW segment, Aussie Open will be challenging FTR on October 1st for the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. So we're going to discuss it. This isn't the time to start taking belts off of FTR. I mean, they got to lose them eventually. I can't remember the last time they defended the AAA Tag Team. It's been down. I guess maybe Triple Mania was maybe a month or 2 ago. Maybe that.
Yeah. Well, you can have a schmaz ending in New Japan, so that way neither one of their tag champs have to lose technically.
Yeah. You used to have a guy for this, right? Talk about this. Diener chose to follow Eric Young down his path, still designed by violence, but also includes smoking the occasional stogie, which is fun. Jordan Grace isn't going to let Masha Slamovich get into her head before Bound for Glory as she walks into her locker room, and there's pictures of herself posted all over the wall with "Masha's gonna kill you" written on them. You're gonna have a pick your poison match at Victory Road, where it's going to be Jordan Grace versus an opponent of Masha Slamovich's choosing. So we'll get into that next week, as Victory Road is next Friday night. John DeConnie, we had the Digital Media Championship on the line. Feud of the year, Myers and Gujar. This has got to be PWI worthy. These guys are getting at it.
Oh, yeah. And then, but once again, we're not really getting clean finishes. And once again, they went for 10.5 very entertaining minutes, only to end with a DQ. When Myers goes for the belt, Gujar gets his hands on it. He wins the tug of war. And you might have expected him to maybe toss it aside or whatnot, but he's not, he's not above taking out some frustration. He whacked Myers in the face with it, causing the DQ. So Myers technically gets the DQ win. But Gujar leaves with the belt again. And Scott, backstage, catches them both backstage later. And Scott says, you know what? Like, he took it away from Gujar. Come on, Bhupinder, you got to give me the belt back. And Myers was expected to be handed the belt back. He said, no. Enough of this crap. I'm going to hold on to this because the next time you two meet, it's going to be at a ladder match at Victory Road, and this is going to be hanging from the rafters.
I would hope it's at Victory Road. It sounded like it's going to be next, not this Thursday coming up, but the following Thursday, like the night before Victory Road, which is weird.
That would be really stupid, but I guess it's something that Impact is going to impact every now and then.
Yeah, they haven't impacted in a while, to be honest with you. I think they're due for an impacting. Like, that's really
true.
Yeah, they've been pretty on point lately. Killer Kelly has a match with Alicia Edwards this week, and Gail Tim told Tasha Steeles that Killer Kelly wants Tasha on commentary because she likes it when people watch. Week by week, Killer Kelly is just climbing up.
Her character is like if Dexter Loomis actually spoke. Creepy as hell, but she'll actually do some of her own talking.
Kenny King interrupted Scott D'Amore's conversation with Mia Yim, not happy with the result of his X Division Championship match the week prior. Speedball Mike Bailey is booked next week against Mascara Dorada, who beat Alex Zane for the title opportunity. We'll get to that in a second. But Scott D'Amore has an announcement next week that Kenny King will want to listen to. I'm assuming it's going to be some type of Ultimate X or X Division Championship car crash with 25 people and one woman. It's going to be interesting. It'll probably be Mia Yim because she got involved in the match. In the meantime, Kenny King is going to fight Little Red Shoes, or also known as Yuya Uemura, who Uemura won. After King tried to cheat, Mia Yim came down. She was a little pissed off that her interview got interrupted. She prevented it from happening, eventually kicked Kenny King in the head, allowing Uemura to hit his high crossbody up the turnbuckle, a la Ricky the Dragon Steamboat for the win. So good job for Little Red Shoes. But we circle back to the X Division Championship, John Smith. Brent Matalik will now be challenging Speedball Mike Bailey this Thursday.
That's going to be a good one.
It will be, yes.
I got my man, Fat Sack Mike Bailey.
John DeConnie, we haven't broke out that. Do I still have the button? I got to put the button back on. I guess I got to put the button back on for next week because they're going to impact me pressing the gimmick button hard for Bound for Glory for the X Division Championship. Exactly. They bring back the Red Cage. I know you just did a story on this.
God, I hope not.
The Asylum, right? What was it called? Yeah,
Steel Asylum. Yeah. I'm going to go with Bailey retaining here in a great match with Metalik / Dorada. And then, like you said, smash that gimmick button to see what we get going towards Bound for Glory. Maybe we get the gimmick at Victory Road and we get the championship at.
Like I said, I think Mia Yim's going to be involved in this because normally it's
Jordan Grace.
Bound for Glory, usually one woman finds her way into an X Division Championship match, and it's usually Jordan Grace.
Yep.
And then I think it was Tessa Blanchard before she was the first one to do it.
That worked out for her.
Not for the X Division. I don't think she won the X Division. It worked out for
no, but it got her fighting the guys, and that led to her being world champion. So.
Yeah. There's an interview with Steve Macklin, still denying that him and Moose are in cahoots, even though they've been, caught talking about it. Anyway, they're going to be the tag team match this week, John Smith. They're going to get Taurus and Crazy Steve.
Wait, who's fighting Taurus and Crazy Steve?
Moose and Macklin.
Oh, Moose and Macklin.
Yes. John DeConnie.
Agreed.
There was a video promo with Sami Callihan promises that Moose and Macklin, he has them right where he wants them heading into Barbed Wire Massacre. He's going to have them at their throats. So I got a funny feeling maybe a lights out. You hear a kendo stick hit or something, and then like the lights will go back on, and Macklin will be down from the hit to shot, but Moose will be holding the kendo stick because Sami threw it at him or something. Like Sami's going to do something I think pretty clever. I think it's going to be thumbs up, with the planning here, and then thumbs down when they get out.
Yes.
I'm trying to figure out that catchphrase. That's the best one I think I've gotten so far, though. I just still don't get it. And then the Good Brothers backstage interview. They're not done with Honor No More. This title loss just gives them another chance to win another title. Sure.
Sure, why not?
You can't be a 16-time champion if you don't lose the title 15 times. There you go. They're interrupted by the Motor City Machine Guns, who were asking why they've never gotten the Good Brothers in a 2-on-2 match. Anderson thinks that match should main event Bound for Glory. I think it should be saved for Bound for Glory. But now, John DeConnie, we're going to get it Thursday.
Yeah, which, unfortunately, I think tells us what we need to know, that the Good Brothers are on their way out the door. So, unfortunately, Karl Anderson's going to have to count the lights one more time. Give me the
John
guns.
Smith.
Yeah, he's used to it, though.
Yeah.
John Smith.
I agree. Karl Anderson, count the lights.
Could we get a fourth team here to have a 4-way at Bound for Glory? You can have these two teams, and then I don't know, like maybe EY and Diener.
When is Bound for Glory?
Like in 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
October 7th?
October
Friday,
7th.
Okay.
So now we switch the seamless transition from Impact to Friday night. We're gonna layeth the smacketh down on your Rudy Poo candy asses. The Usos and Sami Zayn in the ring introduced to us to Solo Sikoa, who was the newest member of the Bloodline as a result of what happened from Rikishi giving birth to him, I'd say about 20 years ago. I think it happened before Clash in the Castle. Anyway, interrupted by Drew McIntyre with a steel chair, took a swing at Solo, who, credit to him, didn't run from Drew, but was pushed out of the way by Sami, and Sami took the chair shot. Drew yelled that he wants Solo Cola tonight. Solo agreed. Backstage, Sami Zayn earned Solo Sokola's appreciation, John DeConnie. Rikishi just got a fourth son.
That is my favorite part. My favorite part about this whole thing is not just that Sammy's in there. It's that, Jimmy was already kind of okay with Sami. Now Sikoa kind of pats him on the back and thanks him for himself. And the whole time Jay is just disgusted.
Sami and Jimmy have a handshake, right? Like, they have their own.
Oh, that's fantastic. But rolling forward to the main event, Drew McIntyre gets his wish. He gets Solo Sikoa in a one-on-one match. And again, Sammy's there to help the Bloodline. We get Sami distracting McIntyre for just a second, which allows Sikoa to avoid the first attempt at a Claymore and counter it with a super kick. Then we get another distraction from Sami to pull the ref to one side of the ring so that Jimmy and Jay can mug McIntyre while he's on the floor. Then the Street Profits come out to get rid of the Usos. McIntyre eventually hits the Claymore on Sikoa, but it knocks him completely out of the ring. And as Drew's kind of looking at it, deciding, is he going to go over the top rope and wipe everybody out? He doesn't really get the chance because Karrion Kross slides in, slaps on the straitjacket, taking him to the ground, causing the DQ win for McIntyre. But I don't think that made McIntyre feel any better as the McIntyre faded and the cameras faded to black.
John Smith, did you smile at that? Good ending.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed that thoroughly.
John DeConnie, we had a number one contenders elimination match where the winner gets Liv Morgan, who is enjoying the match from a luxury suite up top of the building. 5 members of the women's roster. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, this was a fatal 5-way, and this one had an old school feel to it in terms of WWE because there were 4 decisions in this match, and yet the match was only 4.5 minutes long. So now, and I know you are the master of the statistics. This is going to take a deep dive. Has there ever been a multi-person match, elimination style, where there was 3, or in this case 4 or more eliminations that were all done by submission? I don't expect you to have the answer off the top of your head.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
that sounds like something Shayna Baszler would have done in that one chamber that she ran through before 36. That would be my only.
True. So we had Ronda eliminating Natty with an armbar in like 1 minute and 20 seconds. Less than 60 seconds later, Sonya eliminates Xia Li with a head and arm choke. Ronda eliminates Lacey like literally 2 seconds later with another armbar because they were kind of almost simultaneously applying those submissions. And in the end, Ronda eliminates Sonya. She decided not to go for the armbar this time. The ankle lock gets the tap. 4 minutes, 33 seconds. Ronda is moving on to face Liv Morgan once again for the SmackDown Women's Championship, this time at Not So Extreme Rules.
Okay, I have the Shayna Baszler, 5 submissions.
Well, there you go.
Sarah Logan, submission. Ruby Riott, submission. Natalya, submission. Liv Morgan, technical submission. Asuka, technical submission. 21 minutes.
Wow. So she definitely got to show off a little bit more, I guess.
Yes, I'm sorry. I was looking that up during your thing. I don't know I'm sure if you got this or not. Okay, so this match had me out of my seat when it came down to Sonya and Ronda. The simultaneous eliminations by Ronda and Sonya, that was cool. I got excited. They had a 5-second MMA shoot. I don't know. Did you get into this at all? No,
I didn't break it down, but yeah.
Okay, they had a 5-second shoot, like MMA fight. Sonya attacked her with a couple like rapid, and Sonya can punch pretty fast. Couple rapid fire punches leading to an attempt at a single leg takedown, and Ronda immediately countered it to an offensive mount and attack, and Sonya had nothing to do. Like Ronda, because like it's going to be nothing, right at it. I'm like, damn it.
She went to the Olympics for judo, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, I'm sure she had to learn that stuff to be the greatest female MMA fighter of all time. Like, right?
That's what I'm saying. That's what Ronda was an Olympian in judo. There's no way you're taking her down.
No.
Not if you're her size. No way.
But like Sonya is an MMA fighter, or was an MMA fighter, or attempted to be. She has an MMA background. Yeah, it's shaky, but it's not. No, Riddle made it to the show. Sonya, I don't think, made it. But like, it's just one of those things. Is like, okay, like Sonya's. Oh wow, she got completely outclassed on that one. Like, okay, Ronda's still nasty.
It's like, going back to something we mentioned a couple of weeks ago. It's like Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar. Like, Brock Lesnar was an NCAA multiple-time heavyweight champion. Kurt Angle's an Olympic mother effing gold medalist. He's still going to take him down to make him look silly.
Backstage, Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler approached each other and ended up running into each other backstage. Shayna wished Ronda luck against Liv at Extreme Rules. Ronda told her revenge is better than winning and to let her know when Shayna is ready to break some bones. That's a problem if these two get together. That's going to be an issue.
That could be the best women's tag team ever.
It could be, but I'm thinking, I know Jessamine Dugan, I'm assuming, is still undeployed. Like, can you steal Marina back? Like, she's not under contract, right? Like, can we officially get this horsewoman thing going? Well, I know Becky's hurt. Charlotte's still getting married again for the millionth time. I don't know. Andrade's back. Why can't she come back? Not that
if we're doing dream matches and stuff, then Bayley is going to be involved with Bayley versus Speedball Mike Bayley.
John Smith, great opening contest with Fight Night. It was Fight Night.
It was Fight Night, and I still say that should be their name and not the Brawling Brutes. I mean, would this match go almost 20 minutes? It was crazy. You know, the biggest takeaway here is that Imperium is back together. Their intro is almost back to normal. You know, they kept Gunther's new music, but they have the beginning of the Imperium music now, which is really nice to hear. So we got them back together, which adds another tag team to SmackDown, which adds a nice faction to SmackDown. Mm-hmm. This match went on for 20 minutes, and it was just like, you know, back and forth the whole way, except when Gunther was in the ring. Gunther maybe took a couple slaps and a couple hits, but Gunther was dominant throughout this match, but he didn't actually get the pin. Imperium won with the Imperium bomb that Kaiser and Vinci hit for the 1-2-3 on Ridge Holland. I almost forgot their old names, and then I just forgot their new names.
This is the problem. This is why you have to have slide rules and pie charts, you know, since NXT 2.0.
You know, gun to my head, I'd be dead. If you told me name what are Grizzled Young Veterans' new names, I'm dead. I have absolutely no idea what their new names are. I just know they're handing out smiley faces right now on NXT, which is just 2 weeks they could have held off on that, and they would have been fine. Like, they would have been in a fatal 4-way for the UK Tag Team Championship unification or whatever it was.
He shaved his beard and everything.
Yeah. Raquel Gonzalez. Oh shit! There's push-ups. Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah defeated Toxic Attraction. The Hana bomb on JC Jane. I was gonna make a whole thing that maybe Toxic got called up because it was a SmackDown nameplate. There was no real mention of NXT from what I heard. I was just wondering if they were officially called up. But then when Sonya last night on Raw came out to challenge Bianca, it was a Raw nameplate. I just think they're just staying with the show that they're on. Anyway, they had this match because Toxic Attraction was supposed to wrestle Raquel and Aaliyah in the tournament, but then there was an injury that really didn't last that long, considering Toxic wrestled last week on NXT as well. So I guess it just was a 24-hour virus, I guess, maybe. I have no idea. Street Profits and Hit Row defeated Maximum Male Models and Los Lotharios after a heavy hitter on Mansois. Alpha Academy over from Raw. They were not happy that Braun Strowman interrupted their beatdown. Interrupted and beat down everybody in the number one contenders match on Raw the week prior. So Braun interrupted them again. Eventually, power bombs for both of them. Braun Strowman is back. Didn't see him last night. Maybe he's going to stick around on SmackDown. Who knows? But now the number one contenders match was moved from Raw to SmackDown. I think maybe to avoid Strowman. But since Strowman didn't show up last night, who knows if he'll show up and just do this whole thing all over again. But we're going to try again with the number one contenders match for the Tag Team Championships this Friday on SmackDown. It's going to be the New Day, the Street Profits, Los Lotharios, and Alpha Academy. John Smith, shoes, please.
Shoes, please.
Thank you.
I don't think we need to see the Street Profits versus the Usos again.
Are you?
This is for the number one contendership, right?
Yeah, we don't get the Usos.
Yeah, so jeez. I'm gonna go with Alpha Academy.
All right. John McConney.
This one's hard.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, the New Day, I don't know why the New Day are even in this. They've been getting destroyed by the Vikings, so I don't know why they would be in a number one contender match. The Street Profits, yeah, if they wrestled the Usos again, it would be great, but we've seen it enough times, and they're not getting the job done. And I'm sorry, but I continue to not care about Los Lotharios. Give me the Alphas going for the unified titles.
All right, I'm looking this up real quick. March 11th, 2022. So March 11th.
6 months.
So that's 6 months?
Yeah.
He come back from a neck injury in 6 months. Is Big E due? Is Big E due back? Because now you have the Usos with Solo Sikoa versus the New Day. Like, you just expanded this to another level. Now that Solo's involved, I think maybe not now. Maybe like Survivor Series. Big E comes back to help them after the New Day tries and loses and tries again and loses, all because of Solo's helping. And one time Sammy helps, and then it's. Do you think Big E comes back? I think we're getting New Day and Usos for the next couple months, and I think it's because Big E is making his way back. I've never broken my neck before or had neck surgery, so I have absolutely no idea. I do know that you can come back from a pregnancy, though, Ronda Rousey said, in 4 months.
Well, not that wrestlers aren't big fat liars and don't lie to us all the time, but I hope you are right, because just for the fact that I want to see Big E come back and return to competition. But I think the last time he gave an update, he was free to take off the brace and go about living his normal life, but not okay to start taking bumps again. So hopefully he's lying to us and he is practicing and taking bumps, and hopefully you are right, because that would make me so happy to see him back to being the Big E that we know and love.
So now we make going to about last night, the smooth transition from WWE to WWE. That wasn't actually that's smooth. I'll take that.
That counts.
Yeah, that one works. Let's get some red up here. There we go. That looks raw. There we go. Dom Mysterio gave a promo, getting a lot off his chest that's been built up while Rhea was standing by his side. Later, Rey Mysterio approached Dominic, begging Dom not to fight Edge and to try to mend the family. That didn't work. Dominic wasn't even looking at him. And then John DeConnie later in the night, Rey Mysterio pleading to Edge, father to father, don't fight Dom. Edge understood where Rey was coming from. Rey said it himself. He's a man now. So Edge is going to kick his ass.
Yeah, so Edge basically said to him, like, somebody's got to do it, because he's acting like a little dick. So it might as well be me, because I won't go overboard, but someone's got to whoop his ass. And they went about doing exactly that for about 14. It was about a 14 and a half minute match, but in less than 4 minutes, Rhea got involved. She chops out Edge's knee while he's out on the apron's edge there, and that's, of course, the knee that took a coup de grace to a steel chair last week. So Dom now takes over, and he's working on that leg and starting to look like a big boy on his own there, targeting a limb and going after it. And then at about the 14-minute mark, Edge now has taken back over, and he's got Dom tied up between the top and middle rope. And it's about, it's payback time. This is where the little boy is going to get his comeuppance for being a real jerk the last couple of weeks. But Rey slides in again. Once again, he's begging for mercy for Dom, to the point where Edge has to shove his buddy Rey. He shoves him kind of towards the corner. And even though Rhea for most of the match was the only member of Judgment Day that was also out there, apparently Priest and Balor showed up, because Damian Priest grabs Rey from outside, drags him out, and starts beating on him. Balor slides in and attacks Edge, causing a DQ. And afterwards, Judgment Day beats the holy hell out of Edge and Rey. This time opening the chair, using it to put Edge's basically foot and ankle on it, so that when Finn hits the coup de grace this time, he breaks Edge's leg. It looked nasty. Obviously, hopefully, God willing, they pulled it off properly, because they are professionals. But Edge and Rey had a very bad night in the end, and Judgment Day ended the show with all 4 of their arms in the air victoriously, including Dom. He is, fully on board. He's got the T-shirt and all.
Yep.
I really thought that Rey was going to turn on Edge and join Judgment Day. I thought that would have been perfect, because we've never seen him as a heel before.
Yeah. No, still have it. And I said, Matt, he's like, all right, Dom, this is what you want, I'll join you.
Yeah, exactly.
But Dad, now you're my shadow again. I'm going back to a good guy. John DeConnie, I was on an island last week. I was pretty confident about it too. I was pretty confident about that women's championship match, the tag team championship match. Boy, is my face red.
Yeah, this seems to be Raquel's gimmick. Her gimmick is she wins titles, but she doesn't hold them very long.
No.
Because the Damage Control got at it. Kai and Sky up against the women's tag champs, Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah. And this one, they gave this one some go. This was 13 plus minutes, and Aaliyah even got some. She got some stuff in. She hit a very nice springboard kind of face buster on Dakota, and looked like she might even get the 1, 2, 3. But Bayley reached in and put Dakota's foot on the ropes. This made Raquel start to walk Bayley down, which brought Io to the top buckle, and she hit her over the moonsault to the floor to wipe out Raquel. She didn't really take out Bayley. And that left Dakota alone with Aaliyah. So at that point, it was, no offense, Aaliyah, just a matter of time. And I know she's used this move before. I don't know if it ever got a name. Dakota hit what I can only describe as a Canadian destroyer into a backstabber.
Yeah, that flipping backstabber.
Yeah, and it looked
or something.
It looked pretty damn impressive. Could have been a little smoother, but I think that might have been more on Aaliyah. But they got the 1, 2, 3, and Kai and Sky are your new women's tag team champs.
Yeah, she was using that as a finisher for a while in NXT.
Yeah.
That finish, it wasn't wild. It wasn't. Yeah, she wasn't really winning a lot in NXT.
I heard a whole. I found a whole Reddit discussion trying to name it, calling it the Kai Knee Dean Destroyer.
Oh no, chiropractor.
Oh, did it have it? It had a name?
I think it was the chiropractor. Yeah, I knew it was a pun with her name, so I think that's what it was. Yeah,
but the discussion was 4 years old, so it was before I think I was even paying attention to
I think it was like the chiropractor. I think that's what it was. Yeah. New tag team champions. I do believe now they are. Oh my god, I just saw it. I wanted to bring it up. I forget what it was. Are we up to 12 already? I think we're up to 12. No, that was the pure title. 11.
Pure, yeah.
Somewhere it's somewhere in there. Bianca Belair. Oh. Again, jumped out of my chair. This was the title we needed for Sonya Deville to join the Jersey Champions Club. It would have been perfect. Bianca Belair defeated Sonya Deville after the KOD to retain the Raw Women's Championship. Sonya is still pissed that Bianca was the reason why he cost her a job as a WWE official. Post-match, Bayley came out knowing that she's in Bianca's head after pinning her at the Clash. Bayley and Bianca will get her match. Bayley said Bianca will get her match eventually with Bayley. They were then attacked by Damage Control, which was again thwarted by Asuka and Alexa Bliss. So look for that tag team championship match to circle itself around at some point. John Smith. Johnny Wrestling is back. Great first opponent to put him against.
There's nobody better that you. If you want to show a new audience what Johnny Gargano can do, you put him in the ring with Chad Gable. Yep. And Chad already gave Johnny a new nickname, so he's not Johnny Wrestling anymore. He's Johnny Shoosh. He went to work on Johnny's knee from not right from the start, but about a few minutes in, he hit a dragon screw while Johnny was tied up in the ropes. A dragon leg screw. I don't know.
Dragon screw leg whip.
Yeah, there you go. And it gets him in the ankle lock at one point. Johnny's got him in the Gargano escape, and then he switches it back to the leg lock, the ankle lock. He had him up for a razor's edge almost, but he didn't have him up. He was just on his shoulders, and then flipped him down into a DDT. That was freaking impressive.
Graves had a name for that too. It was a common move. I forget what he called it.
Who?
Graves. I didn't know it. Oh, it was the so DDT. Whoa, okay.
It was probably a move
Graves ripping off Excalibur.
Graves create a wrestler on WWE 2K22. That's his finisher, probably. Living vicariously. So Johnny gets the win, and then Otis tries to get involved, and Johnny thwarts that and gives him the little chop on his way out of the ring to give the little suck it, Otis. So Johnny wrestling with I I forget the name of his DDT for the 1, 2, 3.
One final beat.
One final beat. Maybe I'll remember things one day, guys.
Yeah, but then he said he thwarted the attack from Otis, walking back up the stage. I was like, oh, no, this isn't going to work out well. He's not getting out of this scot-free. Here comes Theory. Cracks him in the back with the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that part.
So he laid out Theory. He goes into the ring. They take a commercial break. They come back from the commercial. Theory was staying in the ring to gloat about ruining Gargano's moment. Interrupted by Kevin Owens, who shot another emotional promo trying to motivate Theory into proving people wrong and living up to the potential Theory thinks he has. All went by the wayside as Theory will do things his way. So they started brawling. I think they're going to have a match next week. I know, John Licani, you confirmed it. I think they confirmed it. I might have missed that this morning when I rewatched it. But hypothetically here, maybe not next Monday. John Smith, is Kevin Owens getting this Money in the Bank briefcase?
Ooh, I never even thought of that.
You take, because now we're in a new regime. Theory was Vince's guy. Now Hunter's, Kevin Owens is Luke Gallows or Doc Gallows protected here. Do you just give, because Owens is a prize fighter. He's going to want the titles. Is Owens doing this just to get the briefcase?
I'd like to say yes, but at the same time, I'm also the guy that doesn't have Roman losing until next May. So I don't. That means that I think whoever has this briefcase is going to lose it. Is going to lose their cash in, and I don't think that Kevin Owens would ever sign up for that. So I think it stays with Theory.
All right, John Licani.
Yeah, I'm so torn with this one because, I said Theory is going to be a champion, and this is a hell of a way to get him, to have that. But man, I so want to see Kevin Owens with a title as well. I think maybe they have the match for it, but Theory finds some way to win it, kind of heel tactics and holds on to it because I don't know if they still have any idea exactly what they're doing with these two titles. So.
Yeah. Yep. It's a simple answer. Just combine those two into one. Here you go, Roman. That's SmackDown. We have a new tournament. We have a new title. Bring back Big Goldie. That's a big Hunter belt right there, right? Hunter loves that belt.
There you go.
Just celebrated the anniversary where Bischoff gave him that belt. Greatest moment in wrestling history. Almost defeated Twin Action in a handicap match. Before the match, Almost was in the back, walking into the ring. Walking, towards the ring. Jimmy Smith had to mention Braun Strowman's name. Are they really going to feed Omos to Strowman first? Can we? I think this would be great for WrestleMania. This match would be, and Strowman's got, Hogan Andre all over again. Running power slam on Omos and a huge memorable WrestleMania moment. You can't do this now, right? That's got to be a bill. A Rumble showdown into a WrestleMania match, I think that would be awesome. Now,
I think Omos should win that match, though.
I would love it if he did, too. I don't think he wins, but I don't think you do it now. Because if you do it now you're just feeding Omos to him. And you're just erasing everything Omos did the past 2 years or how long he's been around.
I say team them up.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
How do you beat them? Honestly, how do you beat them?
True.
Seth Rollins opened the show asking our belief in karma. Riddle says Riddle wants a rematch, but Seth isn't interested. He wants championship gold. Riddle came out anyways to attack Seth. Fought into the crowd past Tugboat, who was in attendance. I thought that was fun to see. And I haven't seen the big tugger in a while. Did anyone see that woman dressed as Tugboat? No. It was kind of hard to miss if you were watching it.
I saw the one dressed as Dusty. Or Sapphire, if you will.
Watch the beginning. It was towards if we're looking at the ring right now, it's the top, the top right part of the screen. Woman just exactly like Tugboat. They must be that. Anyway, very good cosplay. Seth eventually ran away, and as Riddle was about to chase the Judgment Day appeared, they offered Riddle a spot. Riddle, of course, declined. So then he hit Balor with a knee. And now they're wrestling. Finn Balor defeated Matt Riddle after Rollins interfered, allowing Balor to hit the 1916 foul by the coup de grace. Post-match stomp by Rollins, who then screamed in Riddle's ear that it's over and move on. Later on in the show, Seth Rollins was backstage claiming he's the face of Raw, as he did earlier in the show, interrupted by Bobby Lashley, who disagreed because Lashley has the gold. Rollins said he'd gladly take the title off Lashley next week, which Lashley gladly accepted and said, yeah, we'll fight about it. Which did not look, Rollins didn't look happy about that. But we have a United States Championship match, John Smith, next Monday night on Raw. Bobby Lashley defending against Seth Rollins. The winner gets the United States Championship, a belt specifically made for Bobby Lashley, and known as the face of Raw. So,
well, Seth says he's done with Riddle, but I don't think Riddle is done with Seth. So I think that's gonna be a factor in this match, and Bobby Lashley holds on to the belt. We need Bobby Lashley versus Gunther at Survivor Series. Do not mess this up, Hunter.
John DeConnie.
Yeah, I agree. If this was inside of a steel cage or something like that, where it was legitimately just going to be Bobby versus Seth, I might have some feelings one way or another. But I think Riddle gets involved, and regardless of who wins by DQ or not by DQ, I think the belt goes home with Bobby.
Also, I forgot to put in my notes, and then it just dawned on me now that Dexter Lumis is still stalking The Miz. Apparently, they left for a premiere, and Dexter Lumis, I didn't see a babysitter either, so apparently Dexter Lumis was inside a house with both Monroe and Madison Mizanin. I believe those girls are 4 and 2, respectively. Yes, they are fighting. They are professional wrestlers, but that's about 20 years from now at WrestleMania 64. Yeah.
Their cameramen were there. That's the babysitter.
The cameramen were outside. Like that was.
Where was Maurice's mom? Isn't she always around?
I guess maybe. You know what? I don't. I should, and I believe you got to lose money on this question if it was asked on a game show. But no, I don't watch Miz and Mrs., so I have absolutely no idea.
How is that possible?
Yeah, I know, right?
Miz fan, don't watch it. I know people that hate the Miz that watch it.
Yeah, must see TV. I'm watching. Either I'm falling asleep or I'm already asleep when it's on. Anyway, so that will do it. Fun week of wrestling. Let's hit that money-making rock music that StreamYard loves to provide. StreamYard.
Nice.
There it is. So let's go to the Raw roll-ups from this week. One. That's it. One hit. One goddamn it. You can't say goddamn on the radio. No one's listening. One roll-up. But it's an important one. Because not only did Bryan Danielson advance in the Tournament of Champions against Hangman Adam Page, that extends the AEW's lead over Raw. Now they're up 2. Wowzers. Unbelievable. See, it's the same as this has been not going anywhere. Actually, I shouldn't say that because Wheeler Yuta got he's now the tie with David Woods is out with an injury. Or no, Woods will be on SmackDown Friday. Never mind. And then Miz and Tamina, that's just been the top of this. So, yeah.
Some weeks like they're not even
to rename that the AEW roll.
Did you mute yourself out?
Did I?
Oh, no, never mind.
Okay.
I saw your lips moving, but I wasn't hearing it.
Yeah, okay. No, I'm just saying, I hope they, in case nobody heard me, I hope this January AEW roll-up. The primetime rundown is back on its normal day and time. There we go. It's Joey Jarzenga, Ian Schreier, and Mike Zabel return to Friday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Time with everything you need to know in the sports world. We got to talk about it, John Smith. Okay, so real quick. Did you watch the Titans-Giants game?
I saw some of it, but then I turned it off because I don't like watching the Giants.
Oh, it was horrible watching the Giants, especially with them winning. But everyone's talking about, oh my God, he went for 2, he went for the win. Okay, great, good for the Giants. Great. What nobody is talking about, and I want to put you as head coach of the Tennessee Titans right now. You are Mike Vrabel. 5 minutes to go in the game. You're up by 7. 3rd and 1. What do you do?
You hand the ball to Derrick Henry.
How about a tight end jet sweep for a loss of 4 yards? The Titans had that game won. They learned nothing about the Seahawks Super Bowl loss to the Patriots, which I'm sure Vrabel paid close attention to, being a Patriot alumni.
Trying to get cute at home against a crappy team, and you end up losing to them, and you were the number 1 seed last year in the AFC.
You have Derrick Henry, and he run a tight end jet sweep with a rookie. I don't even know who this guy was. I have no idea. He was a rookie. The Titans deserve to lose that game. Unfortunately, that gives the Essential Wrestling Podcast 2 losses. Because that is who John Smith and I had in the Survivor Pool. John Licani, he broke a tie here. Oh, no. Tyler Adele and Joe Jarzanga each picked the Baltimore Ravens. Nicky Indiano, he won on a last-minute field goal with the New Orleans Saints. John Licani, trying to read the asterisks on the bottom?
More importantly, are the asterisks.
Yeah, Joe Jarzanga is now a part of our team. He's playing the part of Eric Bischoff. Jumping ship, turning NWO, joining the EWP, all while still running the primetime rundown. So, and then yes, Nick named those asterisks. He hasn't spoken out mom, so we'll just leave that. So, Joey Jarzanga will be on our team. They did not lose at all. 3 teams picked the Colts, so they're 3-0-3. So they're in the lead right now for not having as many losses as us. So that's on me and John Smith. But it's more on Mike Vrabel for that horrendous call when they could have iced the game with 5 minutes left just by handing the ball to Derrick Henry. Do you have an interest in becoming a sports reporter? Would you want to be asking high-profile coaches and players questions in person? Are you a college student looking to break into the sports media industry and looking to write about your favorite team? The Eastern Observer is looking for interested candidates to join the family for college credit. Look no further. Aspiring writers, social media specialists, content creators, etc. can inquire by emailing eosports3@gmail.com. We are looking forward to having you join the Eastern Observer family. The Black Cats NYC, the official band of the Eastern Observer. Their albums Free Cake is out now on all of these music providers. Wherever you get your music, you can get the Black Cats NYC's album Free Cake. It's out now. Play it loud. As always, the Essential Wrestling Podcast is sponsored by Pro Wrestling Pick'em, the internet leader in sports entertainment pick'em pool. Join us in the Essential Wrestling Podcast public pool to play against us or create a private pool with you and your friends. ProWrestlingPick'em.com. Play against your friends, play against the universe, and guys, she will like it too. Join us back here next week for episode 120. Wow, 120 episodes. 5 p.m. on all of our viewing options. And while you're here now, watching or listening on whatever platform you are watching or listening on, please make sure to like this episode and subscribe to the Eastern Observer and the Essential Wrestling Podcast to make sure you get all the updates on all of our shows and news articles. It's all about the algorithm. Can't stress that enough. Please like, please share. We need help with the algorithm. Hashtags, we can't do it alone. Down to Connie, anything before we get out of here?
Hashtag save us MJF.
Save us MJF.
Getting back to the football picks, if he has pulled a Eric Bischoff, next time we see Joey Jarzanga, he better run some soy sauce through his hair. Better be jet black, baby.
There he is. Yeah, he jumped ship. He's joined the NWO, but he's still running WCW. So it's kind of like he jumped over there because we're the winning team. And he sold out, went to the winning team. He's still got to run the primetime rundown. John Smith, anything before we get out of here?
In these types of survivor pools, ties or losses. So we're tied with them right now.
I understand that, but it's
a tying column in this because a lot of people got eliminated on the Colts and ones that beat you were in.
Yeah, right? I'm sure, but you know what? It's literally a tiebreaker. You know, like they have less losses, so they're winning right now. So Anyway, where am I going? So that will do it for this week. Thank you so much for joining us. Alexa Bliss, we love you. Larry Steve, forever in our hearts. Zaya Brookside, we miss you. Can't wait to see you in Europe. John the County, take us home.
Thanks for joining us. And as always, we wish you the best in all your future endeavors.
You're gorgeous. You're gorgeous.